During a time of bloody civil war, 2,500 years ago, a Chinese military leader, strategist, and philosopher named Sun Tzu emerged. After successfully defending the state of Wu from its western neighbor Chu, he wrote a book known as The Art of War. Formerly known as Master Sun's Warfare, it has since become the most influential treatise on warfare ever written, with 13 chapters, each focusing on a different aspect of warfare. It has influenced the way conflicts are fought. For thousands of years, from the Japanese samurai to the Napoleonic Wars, the book has influenced military leaders and generals around the world. It has had a significant impact on politics, sports, and business. The art of war remains vital to a state, a matter of life and death, leading to either security or collapse. Therefore, it cannot be neglected. Sun Tzu's holistic philosophy states that if you study it correctly and follow it, you will gain valuable knowledge and insight. Sun Tzu the Victorious says to avoid the strong and attack the weak. Sun Tzu firmly believes that the key to true victory is to win the war with as few unnecessary battles as possible. The highest skill is to break the enemy's resistance without fighting, and the key to this is to know your enemy well. If your enemy is arrogant, feign weakness so that he underestimates you. If he is relaxed, attack and do not give him rest. If his forces are united, divide them. Sun Tzu is essentially saying that if you know the enemy's weaknesses and how to exploit them, will never lead to defeat. So at dawn, the desperate Athenians did the unthinkable. They attacked. They attacked the tired Persians as they stepped off their ships on shaky legs after a month at sea. They attacked before they had time to set up their military camp and supply their soldiers with food. Sun Tzu said that if you know your enemy and yourself, you need not fear the outcome of 100 battles. In the mid-1960s, there was a war between the communists of North Vietnam and the United States of America. The Viet Cong had a different strategy when confronting the American military. They used unconventional guerrilla tactics, including the hit-and-run strategy, which proved very effective against the larger American forces. Outwitting the enemy was more important than defeating them in combat. The Viet Cong forces were inferior to the Americans in manpower and firepower, so guerrilla tactics allowed them to inflict significant losses while minimizing their own casualties. They also had their unrivaled knowledge of the terrain allowed them to avoid carpet bombing and hide from the enemy. The terrain was littered with booby traps and anti-personnel mines, but despite the American superpower's vast numerical superiority, the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese still managed to defeat them. This was because they understood Suzuki's philosophy, that all warfare is based on deception. When attacking, they must appear incapable of attacking, and when using their forces, they must appear inactive. We must make the enemy believe that we are far away, when in fact we are close. And when we are far away, we must make him believe that we are close. This philosophy can be seen in World War II during the invasion of Normandy, known as D-Day. The British created several fake units in Scotland that were ready to invade Europe through the northern regions, particularly Scandinavia. They then used various methods to mislead Hitler into believing that 350,000 troops were preparing to attack. Radio traffic in Scotland was full of talk of these fake troops. Troops were preparing for an offensive overseas, and many radio transmissions were easily intercepted by Allied spies infiltrated into Germany. These spies reported on events, adding credibility to them. They also photographed aircraft and tanks that were in fact fake models. In most cases, this resulted in dozens of German divisions moving to false locations and waiting for a non-existent army to appear, while the important battles were being fought elsewhere. This method of dividing the enemy was effective. The forces were also used to a greater extent on D-Day. Soviet forces distracted about 1 million German troops on the Eastern Front, while the Allied invasion took place on the Western Front. This tactic of dividing the enemy was one of Sun Tzu's key strategies, and allowed the Allies to achieve victory and ultimately win the war. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and comment below on what video you would like us to create next.